Hi, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Life in the Eye of Tony Coaching. If this is your first time here and this is your first video, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and also turn on the bell notification. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Aries and I just got back from Joshua Tree today. It was amazing as always. It's one of my favorite places to go to just kind of detox and really just ground myself and be grateful and really connect with Mother Earth. So today we're going to talk about who we are. And for a long time, that really, it wasn't, it was mind boggling for me to kind of really comprehend it on like a really, really, really deep level. Like intellectually, like I understood where we come from and who we are. But on a like embodiment level, like I wasn't there yet. And that's why a lot of my problems continue to resurface because my ego was still in control, thinking that it was solving everything. But I hadn't made that last final transitional step in bringing everything from the mind and embodying it in the heart. So, in my spiritual journey, what I've learned is everything is energy and we are energy. I'm energy just like the tree outside is energy, just like this couch is energy, just like the lights behind me are energy. Everything is energy. And when I ask you, who are you? I'm not asking you, who are you, as in, what is your name? Where do you come from? You know, what do you do? What is your ethnic background? I'm asking you on a deeper level. When we die, when we strip all of that away, when, you know, our body disintegrates and turns to dust once again, what are we? That is what I'm talking about. So that is pure consciousness. We all are pure consciousness. We will always be pure consciousness. We have always been from the beginning of time, and we will always be until the end of time. So we are eternal beings having a human experience in a non eternal world. Well, the world will be eternal, but our bodies are not, but our soul is. So depending on your spiritual beliefs and your religious beliefs, there are a lot of different ways that we think, you know, the afterlife takes place. And I'm going to leave that up to you all. But what I really want to cap on and really dig deep in this video, especially, is the idea that if we are all pure consciousness, and we are all cut from a piece of God, which is the entire consciousness, and each of us make up the one, then we are a piece of God. Therefore, we are God like. We are not God itself. If we were God itself, we would create universes, we would create galaxies, we would create everything in the blink of an eye. But we can't do that. We are given the ability to co create through God when we are aligned with God. So I just want us to all remember to stay humble. In our practice, that is very, very important, is we must remember to stay humble, because when we are not humble, bam, you get checked real fast. And that happens when you're in your ego. And that's why, you know, things get taken away from you, because your ego is like, ha, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then boom, the universe is like, you need to be humble. So you need to accept it from a place of God. Thank you so much, God, for you giving this to me as I aligned with you. See how that lands different? Instead of I manifested this, I did this, I'm God, this, then it's a difference. Thank you so much, God, for giving this to me as I aligned with you. Right? I'm not manifesting anything. I'm aligning with God. Therefore, God is giving me something for aligning with God. We all have that capability. And we all tap into it in different ways. Where we get stuck is we stay in separation. So, separation is really just the illusion that we are not a part of God, that we have been abandoned from God, that we have been betrayed by God, that God is not here to help me through X, Y, and Z. Um, those become those conversations where, we contemplate and say, well, if God really existed, then this wouldn't have happened. Okay. But there's always a balance. There is always something good that comes from something that you think is bad. But really, if you take the judgment out of it, which is the ego, everything just is after that point. There is no good, there is no bad. Everything just is, and it's happening for us to learn from. So it's not happening to me, it's happening for me to grow and expand. So when we take the judgment out of good, bad, this and that, then we can start to heal the separation because we're not placing judgment on what God does. And if he did this, then this wouldn't have happened. We just say, I trust God that this is happening for a reason, and that this is happening for my highest self. And I trust God is going to take care of it. And you move through it. And you are lifted up with God's presence as you align with God. When you start to doubt and fuel that separation, things become harder and harder because you're basically creating more and more distance. That's Aries, you guys. You're creating more and more distance by fueling those thoughts and putting them in there. It's like you're downloading all that, right? You're like, okay, no, this shouldn't be happening. I'm going to judge this. I'm going to compare this. I'm going to do this. So literally each thing that you download becomes more and more space between you and God. But it doesn't have to be that way. So what I want us to all get from this today is when we're having those hard moments and when we're feeling separate in any way, if we're giving into fear, we have to remember who we are. Because when we can remind ourselves of who we are each day, we can start to get closer and closer and closer to feeling that oneness with God every day. But the more we disillusion ourselves that we are separate from God, then the farther and farther and farther we get. And trust me, I've been there. I was so far gone that I literally was digging myself out of a grave because I lacked a lot of faith, and that's why, from my own experience, I am sharing what I've learned because I really want this to be able to help anybody who's watching right now. And it really all comes back to having faith. It doesn't matter what you believe in, just have faith that something else higher than you is going to lift you up out of your problems. You have to surrender. And that is a lot easier said than done. Some of us have to get knocked into surrender, but some of us can just surrender more and more each day until we finally reach that ultimate surrender and become aligned in absolute faith. All right, so if that helped, if that resonated with any of you, feel free to share in the comments. If you have any questions relating to this, also please type in the comments and ask. I would be glad to respond. If I don't respond in the comments, I could upload onto my Instagram stories the answer to your question, or I can answer it in a podcast. So there are multiple ways that I will converse with everyone. And if I don't reply back right away, just know that I will get to you. All right. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Stay amazing, stay awesome, and remember who you are. because it's really, really important that you do. All right. Bye, everyone.